I yelled at, well, sort of. I mean, I was mad, but I wasn't directing my anger directly to Ralph or Zidan. As a matter of fact, I like their show a lot. It is the best show on YouTube. It is the best infotainment channel on YouTube. Um, and my anger or was frustration over the not knowing, right? And of course, if you have this feeling of not knowing, you maybe can't do anything about the solving the case, but you can export your feeling of not knowing simply by talking about it, so that more people can feel what I feel. And wouldn't just do that to one or two people. Why? You know, they're just living their life. But if I could do that to thousands of people, then it will have the desired effect. So, given that I kind of challenged Zidan and yelled, I still think that they're awesome dudes. The word that I have for them is not a bad word. The word that I have for them is probably best show on YouTube. The word that I have for YouTube, though, I have a word for YouTube because, recently they just kicked, or they just put a strike for what they deem to be called hate speech, which needs to be protected. You don't need to protect free speech. Free speech is free speech. It's hate speech that has to be protected. And here's a little hate speech for YouTube. This is a new word. Actually, not that new, but it's your word. It's mofraudo. Whoever's idea it was to flag down the Killstream is a mofraudo. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. Mofraudo is like, I don't know, some African French word or something. It means failure. Not failure terminated or failure accomplished or failure, um, whatever the different failure channels there are, right? But just failure, like you're a failure and you're pussy. But I have not to say anything ill. I don't want to offend people that have that sexual organ. I know you can probably take a lot more of a punishment than a dick can take or something, right? So I want to say they're a dick, but I think that they probably don't have a dick. So I think that pussy is probably the best word to describe whoever's running the show at YouTube, right? Not the people that are subordinate, because they studied really hard. They have student loans. That's the thing. How can you compromise your interest in law, your ability to practice medicine freely, or compromise your art form or your expression? And it would have to be because when you were making yourself expertinent to the process of learning, when you had learned everything and became a master, you had all these student loan debt. So you might know a lot about alternative medicine, but you have to sell drugs because you have student loans. You could tell the truth to somebody about their ability with conversation to talk themselves their way out of prosecution, because it's not really that hard. All you have to do is be having fun. You just have to be enjoying yourself and not get mad. And you have to also have to demand that you can plead innocent because you don't owe money. And like you've seen Ernie Wayne Turtlegate already dismiss his own case when the judge walked out in protest, and then he took the stand, and he took the judge's chair, and he adjourned his own case dismissed it. Then he instructed the bailiff to follow him to the sheriff's department, to the sheriff's house. No, not to the mayor's house. Yeah, to the mayor's house to put the final touches on, basically the mayor acknowledging that the case is closed and everything, that his charges are dropped and the case is dismissed. So I mean, a lawyer would know that because they trade people's cases, at lunch, and they're not even really supposed to talk to it. Like the prosecution is not really supposed to talk to, have a relationship with the judge, and the defense is not supposed to go to lunch with the prosecution, but they basically are wheeling and dealing over tea and crumpets. We know this. I mean, nothing really you can do about it. Consider that is advice not to break the law, because this is who your life's hand is in. Your life's hand is in these people. Your life is in these people's hands. So I mean, given that it's wrong and everything, you can't, after the fact, claim it as a defense, right? It's funny. Unless it's important enough that you can do the time, right? If it's important enough that you could do the time, then do the. Obviously, you'd be a good example for people in jail thinking that they're gonna get raped or something like that. It's not all like that, but because that's not gay at all, like in the slightest. Not like the way that the nanny state wants to sometimey offer you teat and other timey fucking produce phallus and ram cock to ass. They when what China, before they tried to ban crypto, and they've seen the light, right? Now they're making it legal. Why did YouTube really kick them off? I don't want to say that it's definitely just a scant chance, really not anything really, right? But could they afford to let the not knowing to be resolved before I compromise to say fuck it? And then when I say fuck it, then I don't care about it anymore. I could be the last person to put this to the back of my mind for it to be just degraded and washed out over time. Then you can't recall it. Then you don't have to worry about it, right? Because if you like tea and crumpets and you know where your biscuit is buttered and you're a mofraudo, then what is the alternative? You're gonna do what it do. It's gonna do what it do, right? So maybe because I put enough of basically I made my video kind of hard to watch so that they would have to respond, and then when they respond, it would be because look, I am being defamatory. You have to stand up to defamation. You don't have to, but you're not wrong if you do, right? So there's the possibility that the story and the way that I feel could have been exported to 30,000 people, even if they don't know that they agree with me. At least they cannot resolve the unknown. It's not whether you like a guy or anything like that. Find out the answer and you help me. You cure the unknowing, and then you help me, since I don't seem to know what the fuck I'm talking about. So YouTube, you're a fucking mofraudo. You probably think that I was gonna catch a ruse or be pleasantly delighted that you're making bitch moves, but you've always been. Oh damn, you've always been. Oh yeah, like there would be any consternation about that, So I didn't even break the law. Go figure. What's advice? Since that's how I didn't even break the law. Watch my challenge to it's called I'm still not voting. Because it was my first clue not to vote when there was a freaking 15 fucking minute long commercial full of star power. And the last time that they put so much star power together, it was in a B movie that was the Atlanta child murders. And that shit disappeared and went away. It's not on anybody's How many freaking when a movie has so many stars in it, even if it's a bomb, even if it's not really a good movie, it's still you know about it. Let me see, Waterworld or something that doesn't have a lot of people in it. What's a movie that you know about that's not that good because it had a lot of people in it? Usually, like, I mean, okay, so they just did that so they can run through this and say that they're not timid about the issues and things like that. These little bitches, I'm gonna rip you and I'm gonna rip your fucking neck out and fucking pull your spine out of your fucking pelvis, so your shit look like, so you just fall over like a fucking slinky. What has to be done is what has to be done about you to make fucking all the villagers cheer and delight in the fucking returning of their children, like in Indiana Jones, like in the Temple of Doom. It's not me. It's not. It could be how I feel about it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be how I feel about it. Because what the fuck are you gonna do? Prove me wrong? I really wish, because that might aggregate the solution in itself. I don't know what feat of magic that you're gonna pull out. That's like that's probably greater than when Hercules cleaned the Pantheon, like was washed the Pantheon, because it had gotten dirty and old. As you understand, mystery systems deteriorate and become fractured. So I will be going into those things when I don't want to talk about mainstream media narrative shit, like what Black Colonel Sanders, Black Kentucky Fried Chicken looking, wearing fucking suit and tie ass fucking civil rights all-star fucking oh, don't you feel a certain kind of way because somebody chose to spit in his face. I'll feel a kind of way and they spit in anybody's face. You don't know who I am. I don't have to be in the civil rights all-star. Go on, sir. Anyways, yeah, I'm kind of pissed, and it's a couple of things, but it crescendoed at the point when I thought that it's as daunting as it is that that somebody would go over my videos and take me apart because cringy. It didn't get to happen because they're trying. I mean, some measures that they decided, since it affects more things, maybe because it's become a point of interest now. Because you're pushing the issue, little young the young. I don't know. What do you? Okay. How many things are you allowed to be in the same light, right? Because there's no definite requisition that anybody take a category, but if applied to you as labels to get you in that category, right? What happens when you're not always the label? Right? It challenges the people that gave you the label. They have a paradise world reality, and if you think about it, don't you think that they would want to keep it, right? I mean, it must be nice. Anyways, I don't think that they banned the Killstream because of me or anything, but you have to admit that I am a part of my environment. Like there's always the scantest, there's always the scantliest chances.